Hey guys, how is everybody doing with a brand new Hunger Games movie coming out in theaters just this Friday? I have decided to review the other four Hunger Games movies. Why's there gotta be four of these fucking movies? Before I begin, I should mention that I've never read any of the Hunger Games books. I'm not the biggest Hunger Games fan. I have seen a few of these movies, just not all of them. So, I'm not the biggest Hunger Games fan. I don't know all the source material. I don't really get into this type of subgenre of movies that much, with a few exceptions. Yeah, so I might say a few things here and there that might piss off a few people. I might say something where I like or dislike something, and the people are gonna get mad at me, or it's like, "Oh, you're not a good Hunger Games fan," or something like that. Just to get that out of the way, I've never read any of the books. I'm not a big reader, and I'll get more into that later. But with that all the way, here are my thoughts on the Hunger Games. Starting off right off with the positives is that I do like how the first hour of this movie it kind of explains and sets up the Hunger Games to where we kind of get to know our main character in a way, to where we get interviews with them, to where they explain the Hunger Games and it's like what to expect from this world later on in the film, to when we finally get to what we paid to watch. I really enjoyed that. It was really interesting for someone who's never read any of the source material that doesn't know too much about the Hunger Games. It was nice for them to really explain for some people that have never read the books, to where the first hour of it is like explaining it to them, like letting the viewers know that this is what the Hunger Games is, this is what you should expect to see in the movie, this is what you should expect to see throughout the rest of the movie or the book, or if you're a big reader never read any of the books. But yeah, I really like how they kind of explain that for people who've never read the books and who have they have no knowledge of this world. I really did enjoy that. Positive is I really do like the cast in this movie. You of course got Jennifer Lawrence. You got the guy that was just in the new Five Nights at Freddy's movies as Mike. I didn't even know he was in these movies for a while. I have seen bits and pieces of this movie, but he's pretty young in this movie, so if you would be forgiven, you're like, oh, I didn't know that was the guy. Hell, you even got Woody Harrelson in this movie, although it doesn't really look like Woody Harrelson. Hmm, long-haired hippie. And there's a few other people in here that I forget their names. You also got the little girl that plays Esther in Orphan. I was really surprised to see her in this movie. I love Orphan. That's one of my favorite horror movies ever made. And I did like seeing her in this movie for the little of amount that she is in this movie. I really do enjoy this cast. There is a pretty enjoyable cast. It's a pretty A-list cast, especially Jennifer Lawrence, who I'm really mixed on because over the years after this movie, she's just gone on to movies that will get her Oscar nominations or Oscar wins or anything, and she doesn't really do any smaller movies anymore. That's why I liked her in the new movie No Hard Feelings. I really liked her in that, to where she goes back to her old roots, I guess you could say. But yeah, cast, it's great. Positive is when we finally get to see the Hunger Games, to where I really enjoyed it, to where you get to see them hiding in the wilderness, to where they actually start forming alliances to hunt down other people and kill them, so they have lesser people to worry about, and so like when it's just the final them, they can deal with each other instead of having to deal with other people. I really like seeing that. I'm really hoping I haven't seen some of these movies, and some of these movies I haven't seen in a while. I'm really hoping in the other Hunger Games movies we'll get to see more of that, because I like seeing them form alliances. That was really cool to see, and how they end up helping each other out a little bit in the end with Peta and Katniss, I believe you pronounce her name.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I don't know. I'm bad with names, alright? Don't judge me. And yeah, I really like seeing it. It was really entertaining where you see them hiding and making fires, making their own weapons, and trying to figure out survival skills, especially when she cuts down like the weird hornet's nest or something. I forget what it's called. It's not a hornet's nest, I do know that. And to where it falls down and like kills one of the ladies and also scares off the other people. That was a pretty cool scene. I really like seeing that in the movie. But yeah, some of these scenes in the like actual Hunger Games is actually pretty cool. And for my final positive, this movie is dark. Like, this movie is really dark because Like, once you finally get to the Hunger Games itself, and you actually get to see these people hunting each other down and seeing these people kill each other one by one, for it being a PG-13 movie, this movie is still dark. I honestly feel that they shot this movie to be rated R, but they wanted this movie to have a wider audience, so they made it PG-13, and I feel they did not cut it down enough because this movie is dark and I love it to where the first few seconds of the Hunger Games, like when they finally go after each other, start killing each other. It's just like this dude is getting stabbed one with like this weird blades knife thing or something like that. There's even a part of this movie to where this guy was meant to just stay there and guard the place and look out for people if they came there because they lit a fire in one scene of the movie to where they all go over there and it's like, okay, you wait here while we go deal with that. And then he's like, oh, they set a trap, but Jennifer Lawrence's character is like smart and explodes it and gets rid of all of it. Then the guy comes back, he's like, what were you doing? You're supposed to be protecting it. And he goes up and he just snaps his fucking neck like he was nothing. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, and there's even a part to where that guy dies. He gets ripped apart by like dogs or something. It's like, oh my god, dude, this movie is dark. Like, God damn. And then there's like a part where Esther, like the person that played Esther, an orphan, to where this black guy shows up to where apparently like this little girl that died earlier. I don't know if they were friends or that was a sister or something. Where he grabs her and he just bangs her off like a fucking car or whatever. He breaks her neck off that. It's like, oh my god, dude, this movie is dark and I loved it. I was like, oh my god, that was awesome. Do more. I'm hoping that the other films are as dark, if not a little bit more darker, because I really like that. That's my mixed aspects. I feel I have to address this. It's nothing against. I don't have a big opinion on it. I can't really say anything, and it doesn't bother me really. To where this movie is very controversial with its book audience of Hunger Games because a lot of fans of the book don't like this movie because it doesn't stick to its source material. It doesn't stick to the book. It doesn't take anything out of the book, really, from what I hear. A lot of people say they don't like this movie because it doesn't stick to the book and it doesn't do anything from the book. Now, I can't really say anything on that. I can't give my opinion on it. I can't say, "Oh, this movie's trash because it doesn't do this or that." It doesn't bother me personally because I can't really give my own input on it. No, I'm just gonna say this. Just because a movie doesn't stick to its source material, that's just because it's adapted from a book. I feel it doesn't have to take scenes straight out of the book. I feel it doesn't have to do that. I mean, look at not Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. Look at The Shining. That movie takes nothing from the original film. That takes nothing from the book. And Stephen King hates that movie. But Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is iconic and it is beloved by the horror community and Stephen King fans. Look how the popularity of that movie. Just because it doesn't stick to its source material doesn't mean it's a bad movie. So get over yourselves. Moving on to my negatives, I really think that we should have got to know some of these characters more to where there's like this little black girl in this movie to where she kind of helps out our main character throughout the movie a little bit to where she helps her set traps, like also helps her like kill a few people and get rid of some of them to where it's pretty cool, and then she dies, which it's sad. It sucks to see this little girl die, but where it falls into my negatives is where I wish we got to see the character more, see them bond a little bit. Maybe there could have been a few extra scenes here and there to where we see them bonding a little bit, hanging out, making plans together, getting to know them more. I would have really liked that. And when she died, I went, that sucks, man. That really sucks to see her die. I would have felt more if we got to know her character more. If we got to see her character more, I would probably like my gut would like feel sick to where it's like, oh my god, why would they kill a little girl? I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucks to see her die either ways, but when you don't even get to know the character that much, I didn't feel anything till when she died. On to my final negative. There is a lot of green screen and CGI in this movie to where there's like a pack of dogs in this movie. I think they're dogs. And you can just tell that they're all CGI, and especially the scene to where they're all just coming in announcing like these people are part of District 12, District 10, or something like that. to where they're all coming out, and you could tell that they're just on like a weird like raft thing or like a wheel. I don't know what it is. It's like a cart. And you can just tell behind them is just a downright green screen, and it's very noticeable. Now, I won't give this movie shit. It did come out in 2012, so I can't give it too much shit for its time, especially when you look at movies now. It doesn't look too good. Although it does look better than some MCU movies. Oh man, that's not very good, is it? But it doesn't bother me too much, but it's just very noticeable. Like, I mean, very noticeable. Ugh. Well, guys, I really did enjoy The Hunger Games. It's a pretty good first chapter for the franchise. I can't really say too much because I haven't seen a lot of these movies, and I haven't seen one of them in a very long time. So, maybe compared to the other ones, maybe this is the weakest. Let me know in the comments below. I don't really know what to think, but coming as a person that's not the biggest Hunger Games fan, I still enjoyed this movie, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. It moves a little slow at times. It doesn't have the greatest pacing, and if you just want to see the Hunger Games itself, maybe wait for the other movies because the first hour of this film is just setting up and leading to it. So I would just say go ahead and stream it. You guys think about the Hunger Games? Let me know if this is one of the better ones of the franchise because I don't really know what to expect for the rest of the franchise. So, what do you guys think about the Hunger Games? Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Is this possibly the worst of the franchise? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. If you like this video, like it. If you love it, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. And of course, until my next video, I'll see you all next time.